I hope it's working now, guys. I don't know. I've done everything I can do. Okay, you heard typing, Joan. Yay, there may be a little bit delay. Whoo! Had to be YouTube because all I did was switch from default back to my regular stuff, and now it's working, so I don't know. I am so sorry, guys. I really, truly am. I just don't know why that's happening. Yay! All right. So you guys did see the credits and all that. They ran. You could hear them. I truly do apologize. Just want to say hi to everybody. Thank you for joining me. We do not have a project tonight, but we are going to go over the how to do those spirals with Escal. And guys, if you do not have shortcuts a lot, it's okay. If you're watching and you need a spiral done for whatever, if I have time, if you message me with what you want it to say, I will make you an SVG for it. I can't do everything at the drop of a hat, but it may take me a couple of days, but I will get it for you. So just so you know that, just because you don't have shortcuts a lot doesn't mean that you can't be here and enjoy this lesson too. Because who knows, you may want to get it after you watch this if you don't have it. So let's go over and we'll get started. As always, if you have any design space questions, ask them. Ask them right away or ask them later, anytime during the tutorial, and we'll get to it. Yes, Joan, they are similar. They're very similar. The upgrade, I think, is, correct me on this, it's either $24.99 or $26.99, something like that, to upgrade. And what I mean by spirals, in case you guys don't know, is this kind of design where your words go into a spiral to the middle. Yes, and the link is down below on the video too, guys. Bonnie, I think if you go through the link that Sue provided there, you guys correct me, I think it's $50. I could be wrong. I haven't gone over there. Sometimes they run a special and you get a $6.99 Dreaming Tree gift card too. So if you have 4, you can upgrade to 5. But if you don't have 4, you have to buy 5. But this is really a fun, and this, guys, is all that I did in Escal. These are design space images. Of course, I'm looking for a better mouse. I'm not thrilled with that mouse. But so much we can do with this because you can rotate it and bring it in how you want it for whatever images you're using. It's a lot of fun. Lots and lots of fun. So let's go over to shortcuts a lot. And I'm going to be covering part of chat, I think. Let me scrunch this down. Again, if you have design space questions, guys, just ask. And we've gone over the basic tools in some of the previous videos that we've done and the lives that we've done. But if you need to ask questions, you can ask questions and we'll cover them the best we can. But to start this spiral, yay! Welcome back, Marion. I'm so sorry. I apologize for the error. I don't know what it is, except it had to be YouTube. I just don't know. Thank you, Sue. So yeah, you're getting it for, because they're giving you $7 back, you're getting it for like $45. That's not too bad. because it enhances Design Space so much, because you guys, a lot of you will go in and say, well, how do I do this and how do I do that? And it's so much easier with SCAL to just do it in there and then take it over to Design Space. It's a great enhancement to Design Space. I love Design Space the way it is. It's simple. It's not complicated for those who want to keep it simple. But I love that they give us the ability to be able to use outside tools to do other things, because some softwares won't let you do that. So I think that's really generous of them to be able to let us to be able to put our own touch on it with using outside programs. You're at Walmart trying to watch, Debbie. Well, you never know. You might draw a crowd around you. They may want to watch too. All right. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do, guys, is if you look in your toolbar over here, right here is your shapes, where you can draw a shape. If you notice, there's a little black triangle on those, and we've talked about that before. Whenever you see that little black triangle on a tool, that means there's more to it. So click on it and hold it down, and when you do, then you will see these other shapes. And spiral is down at the bottom. So we're just going to select a spiral. And then I'm just going to click here in the middle of my canvas, and I'm going to pull out a spiral and let it go. Yes, Donna, you will be able to see this on replay. Welcome back, Judy. I'm so sorry about that, guys. As you can see, every time I do that, I get another spiral. I don't need all those spirals. Let me get rid of those. We just need one. And then you're going to go back to your selection tool. I'm just going to bring this to the middle, and I'm going to show you guys what happens unless you know what you need to do to make it go the opposite direction. The next thing you'll get is your text. And again, you see the little black triangle on there. Hold it down, and we're going to type text or type on a path tool and select it. And you can see that your text will turn sideways there. And you can click anywhere. It's going to start you right there in the center. So if I were to start typing, "'Twas the night before Christmas," you see how it started in the middle and it's coming around? That's when, oh. You see, and you can keep going. But we really want it to go the other way, because of this going in this direction. I don't know about you guys, but to me that's backwards. And it doesn't read correctly. Oops, I went to caps, didn't I? Now, when you get to the end, it will start stacking on top of each other. As you can see, if I keep typing, it's just going to keep stacking. When you get to the end of it, that's the end of your path. So it's not going to go any further. You'll have to either make it bigger, or you'll have to shorten your phrase, whatever it is that you're doing with this. But again, if you look at this, and to me, when you're trying to read that, and even if I were to select it and twist it, it's backwards. It doesn't work for me. So first of all, how do we fix that? And how do we get rid of the line that's under it? There are a couple of ways. The first thing you want to do, and I'm just going to erase this and we're going to start over. I'm going to select my spiral, and I'm going to put one in the center. My text is still on a path, so we're just going to leave that, and I'm going to hit my selection tool. I am going to right click. You can, Sue, but you have to keep in mind when you're doing that, even if you make your text smaller, you can make your text bigger, smaller, any of that, and we'll go over that too. If you get it too small, if it's print and cut, you're going to be fine. But if you're trying to cut iron-on or vinyl, you might see some problems depending on your font. So just keep that in mind too. And you don't really want to overcrowd it, because it's going to, when people try to read it or make it out, it's going to get kind of distorted. Because if you just, like 'twas the night before Christmas, went all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. That puts the thought of that story in their mind, and you don't need it to read the whole story, because it's going to bring back that memory for them. Does that make sense? Yes, Bonnie, I am going to show how to put it into Design Space. This is Shortcuts a Lot 5, Barbara. Right here at the top of the screen. And we have a link below in the description. You can get that as well. But it's very easy. All we're going to do is arrange, and I'm going to go to Appearance, Transform. And I am going to flip that horizontally. Now what happens when I go to my text and I click on it? Still in the center. I don't want it to start in the center. Now it's just going to go the other way, and the end of my sentence is still going to be at the beginning of my design. So what I did was I went up to Path, and I reversed the path. Now I can click. Oh, I'm still on the same one. Oops. Let me go back. I had that text tool in there. Let me go to text. On a path. How did I do this? It may not let me do it because I changed it. Okay, let's go to path. Reverse the path. Text tool. There we go. That was it. Before I flipped it. Because I really don't need to. I flipped it, and before I click on anything, before I go to that text tool, I want to go path and reverse the path. Now I can type it, and it was going to be, oh, it's going in that way. Sorry. It's going inward on the inside of the line. So there was a question about how to do that, and I just don't know how I did that, guys, because I couldn't get it to do it before. But now I've got it going on the inside of that line. Now flip it. Here. I guess that's going to be, that's got it inside. See, I got all flustered when I couldn't get sound, and now I forgot how I did it. Let me just undo here. Start new. Okay, got my spiral. Draw it in. Select. Pull it in. Flip it, mirror. Text on a path. Reverse the path. Oh shoot. Guys, I know I had this, and now I can't remember how I did it. I reversed the path. I know I did that. Turned it. See, once you do that, it won't let you. I'm just having a really good night tonight, aren't I? I'm batting 1,000 now. So let me, I don't know why it's not even letting me undo that. Got my spiral. Select, move it in. Flip it. Reverse the path. There we go. I was right. I don't know why. Don't ask me how I got it on the inside, guys. I don't know. That was a freak thing because I watched several videos. Nobody could figure out how to do it to get it to run inside that line instead of outside. And I just did it and don't even know how I did it. So I'm going to have to play this back to find out how I got it to the inside. So, again, it is, you teach Photoshop and Adobe? Great. I got it. I was doing the right steps, but for some reason it reversed it into the inside of the line. But you're simply going to put the spiral in, you're going to select it, you're going to flip it, then you're going to go to the path and you're going to reverse the path and then start your typing. Don't type before you've done that. It sure cuts a lot. Deborah teaches Photoshop, guys, so she may be able to give us some pointers because, again, we are learning this together. Oops. Okay, and this one I've got my spiral. I made it so big that I could keep going. So that answered that question, guys. If you make the spiral bigger, then you can get more words in here. I didn't put punctuation in this because of the use, but you guys can do that however you want to. And just so you know, I'm going to keep going so that you can see what happens at the end. You see how it gets wonky before it cuts off and starts laying on top of each other. So you may need to do it a couple of times to figure out what size to make your spiral to fit your phrase or whatever it is that you're using. So I would probably stop right there and maybe put in some dots so that I can put an image in the center. So after I've done that, I'm going to go back to select. And the next thing you want to do here is you want to break apart. And that's going to get rid of that line. Let me select all of this and change that to black so you guys can see it. There we go. And you notice that you have all of those little filled in on your words. If you go to I believe it's merge. And that will fix that. I tried to do that, Deborah, before when I was first doing this, and it just flipped everything. I'll try it again because sometimes it goes wonky and does some weird things, but there's a spiral and type text on a path. But we still have to reverse the path. No, we have to flip it. If you flip it, it won't do, it'll still go from the center. But I think that is how I got it to go to the inside. Yeah, that's how I got it to go to the inside. Because I flipped it. Because when we type, it starts in the middle whenever we do a spiral. It will automatically, this is set up to automatically start in the center. So if I go to my text on a path and click, it's going to start there. It doesn't matter where I click. It's going to make me start in the middle instead of going from the outside in. Which to me, when you look at your design, it makes the design backwards. But maybe it's just me. So did that kind of freak everybody out on how we did that with design space? I mean, with Escal? And I'll do it one more time so you guys can see. But what we did is we went in, we selected the spiral, we went up to path, no, I'm sorry, we right clicked, we transform, flip mirror, then we got the text on a, oops, I think I just messed up. If you hit text on a path, I think it's going to go to the inside. We'll see. We're going to reverse the path. Yep, it goes to the inside if you get your text tool before. So let's do a spiral. Get your spiral. Then you're going to right click, flip and mirror, path, reverse the path, get your text tool, and then you can type it. And it'll go to the outside of the spiral. So has everybody got those steps? Hurry back, Debbie. Did anybody else have any questions on how to do that one? Okay, so now that we have that, of course you can bring in your images or whatever, you can turn it, you can pick your font, you can size it. But if you want to do your font, guys, you have to do your font before you select your text. Okay? Because you can't, once you merge this to get rid of the fill-ins and all of that and you break it apart, you can't select your font after that. It won't let you. Okay? There's no way to change the font at this point. So I can select another font all day long. It's not going to change. How I got rid of the line. Okay, we'll just get rid of that. Actually, I want to keep that one because I like the size of that spiral. Okay, let's get rid of this one. And here we go. So let's just start over so everybody's got it. You're going to select your spiral here in the Shapes tool. If you see that square, you're going to have to hold down and come down to the spiral. You're going to click in the canvas and put in your spiral for the size you need. And again, you may have to do it a couple of times to get the right size spiral for your phrase. Then you're going to hit your selection tool. You're going to right click on it and you are going to transform and flip mirror. You're going to go to path, reverse the path. Go to the text and select text on path tool. And now let's see, let me get this condensed blank. And I am going to select it. I'm not going to type this one all the way out. But you see that I had to select my font before I did any of this in order to change the font. And then you're going to go up to your color. It's going to do none. You're going to fill it so that you can see it. You can do that at any point, I believe. So you can bold it up and you can use the fonts that you want. But once you have it, you're going to go back to your selection tool. And now you've got this black line. And to get rid of that, you're going to right click, break apart. But when you do that, notice how all the centers of your letters fill in. Okay? If you, I don't know if merge is on your right click or not. You're going to go up to, first you have to select it all. You're going to go up to your object, not path, object, and hit merge. And that's going to take those centers back out for you. Now you can leave it like that, select all and join, and it will cut out, but you can't see it. It's just going to look black in your SVG. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If I left it like this and I join it or do a union, that is still there and it will cut, but you can't see it. And if you don't, let me go back. Right click, break apart, and then when I move that E, you can still see that the center of the E is there. It's there, you just can't see it. When you merge, it allows you to get that clear window in your letters, we'll call it, your cutout. Oh no, Pat, don't have a seizure. But that's all there is in the step to do that. There we are. So I just did this and this one, and I'm going to go back and do these guys before I put I'm putting some SVGs of these up on the website, and I will get them, but I want to pick some fonts that I like better. And so it's going to take me a little bit of time. And I know that W, like right here, these look a little wonky, but they are following the path of that spiral. Now, before you merge, if you want to move those, you can, but just remember to select your whole letter so that you get the inside of your E's and your O's with it, so when you move them, it all moves together. So if you want to tweak them, you can. But to me, that's part of the mystique of it. And I like the way that it looks. And different fonts are going to look different as well. So once you've got it like you want it in the type spiral that you want, either tight, close, your large font, your small fonts, once you have that, you're going to go to File and Export. And then you're going to name it. I'm just going to put test on that so I'll know. I'm going to save this to my desktop. It's going to save as an SVG, and I'm just going to hit save. These boxes don't need to be marked, just the design space, and hit OK. And then we can come into design space, and all you're going to do is you're going to have a new project. You're going to hit upload, upload, browse, and there it is on my desktop, and I'm going to open it. And you're going to name it and tag it. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to delete this one. And then you're going to hit save. Yes, Deborah, you can. It has a draw tool. You can draw your own. And then you have it right there in design space. It's going to be the last thing you downloaded, and you can select it. And there you go. It's all ready to cut. You can go ahead and search your images, and let's just search for a sleigh. And I really like this one in design space because it has so much curve to it. It has more curve than the others I've seen. And you can do away with the moon if you guys don't want that. I know somebody said that they liked it without. Let me make this a little smaller. Remember, the size that it is in Escal is the size it will come in into design space. Design space does not alter it. It's Inkscape won't come in at the same size unless they fixed it, but Escal does. So then you can just toss in your images, and don't forget, you can either weld or you can cut these separately. It's totally up to you. Get your sizing how you want and have fun with it. When you type, Vicki, all the letters are on top of each other. Is your spiral too small? Remember, the side, it's following the lines of your spiral. So if your spiral is too small, then yes, it's going to type right up on top of each other. So let me find one here. I know I got some going. So if I get, here you go, Vicki. I'm going to get my spiral. I'm going to draw it in. I'm going to hit select, move it, transform, mirror, path, reverse, text on a path. Going to select my font first, and then I'm going to start typing. And then if I have too much, it's going to start typing on top of each other because I'm out of path. I'm out of the path at that point. And see right here, myself, I'm going to cut mine off probably right here because that's when the letters start getting wonky. To me. That one's not too bad with that font, but some of the fonts, it gets really, really wonky. And then you're just going to go back to select, right click, break apart, select all your letters, do your color and fill it so that you can see what you have. Then you're going to, you do have merge on right click, and then merge. And now it should move as one piece at that point. And in case you guys didn't know it, you also have the vertical tool here so that you can type your text vertically. And it all lines up perfectly well. So, I mean, there are tons of things that you can do in here. For all of you guys that are wanting that word art where they go in a circle or a ring, you have all of that in your Sure Cuts a Lot. You got it? Yay, Vicky! So has anybody got any questions on how to do the spiral in Sure Cuts a Lot and then take it into Design Space? And play around with it. If you want yours to go to that inside of that line, simply, all I did that I can think of was that I reversed the path after I selected my text. I don't know. I didn't try it. Let me get rid of that. Undo, 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 undo. I got some little dings in there. Let me go back to before I broke it apart. No, that just makes it backwards. Let's see if I can go to path, reverse the path. No, it won't do it that way. Oops. Yeah, it shouldn't matter if you're getting rid of the line. Well, the difference is, Sue, it will make it tighter. It's going to tighten up your spiral because it's going to bring it to the inside rather than this outside. So I think it might tighten it up because you're going to be coming in here instead of up here. There are some cases where it might matter, but if you're getting rid of the line, it shouldn't matter at all. Yeah, I'm or at the top of the letter lining up instead of the bottom. Yeah, the tops of the letters would line up on it. If you need the tops of the letters to line up, like if you were doing this in all caps, that might be when you might need to go inside. But to me, I don't know. I would have to play with it and find out. But guys, this is super simple, super easy. And you can do tons of things, tons of phrases. But just remember, you're going to have to play with how big you need to make your spiral. So when you first start, if you know that your spirals, if your phrase is not going to fit on one spiral, that you need to go bigger. Or if it's too big, that you need to take it down a little bit to tighten it up to get your spiral like you want it. Does anybody else have any questions about how to do the spirals? Yes, Bonnie, you can. You can rewatch it. Just skip the first part because I don't know how I did that with that, making it go to the inside of that, because I'm going to go play with it and figure that out. I think it was that I selected my text tool before I reversed the path. Okay, we'll walk you through it, Bonnie, once we get finished here. We'll walk you through getting the program. And I think Deborah asked about the drawing tool. You have it right here, Deborah. Here's the draw tool for your own shapes. And you have a knife down here. Knife tool. Knife and crop. It keeps deleting your question, Anne? Can you send it to me on Messenger, Anne? I don't know why it's doing that to you. Ah, can't have characters or contain links. That might be it. I don't know what she's asking me, so. Yeah, just send it to me and I'll get with you on Messenger, Ann. Okay. Well, if anybody doesn't have any other questions on that tonight or any design space questions, anything we need to cover there, anybody have any questions on any projects that you're doing, any problems? I know there's a slight delay, so I'm making sure that everybody got everything answered. Okay, guys, if you have questions later or something you forgot to ask, please come to the groups and ask. Again, we're all learning Surecuts a lot together. So if you figure out something and we haven't covered it and you want to cover it, shoot me a message and we'll come in here and we'll play and we're going to learn this thing. We're going to get it. I think we've learned a lot on our own so far. I think that we're doing pretty well. We've learned tracing. We've learned loading to design space. We've learned the text tools and some of the effects. So this is going to enhance your crafting and help you do some of the things that you're trying to do in design space that you can't quite do. Your shadow layers, things like that. Thank you, Deborah, for helping us out. I greatly appreciate that. Maybe you can help us with some of these tools that we get stuck with. Ah, thanks, Ann. I'm glad. I hope I can keep inspiring you guys. And like I said, I don't know everything about Surecuts a lot. We're learning it together. We'll get there. It's just going to take time, like any other program. It just takes time to learn. You have to get in there and play with it. So am I, Deborah. So am I. But I've never played with any of these programs or Publisher, or I've tinkered around a little bit in Photoshop. Um, Before this, I tried Make the Cut. Some of them, Inkscape, I just find extremely confusing. So it's not good if you just get confused and flustered. And that's why we're just doing this in bits and pieces so that we can all learn a little bit at a time, and then we'll pull it all together at the end, I guess. Okay, I'm going to go through here and I am going to pick somebody to receive a free gift. You have to be present to win. Judy Racier, are you here? I hope I'm not slaughtering your last name. There she is. She is here. Judy, you are our winner chicken dinner tonight. So if you are not a Patreon, you will need to message me your mailing address, and I'll send you a gift in the mail. If you're a Patreon, I should have it. I typoed your name. I'm sorry, Judy. I know it has an A in there. I guess I just missed it. All right, guys. I thank you for watching. And let me just say thank you to all my patrons. And thanks to all of my moderators. I greatly appreciate you guys. I really, really do.